Hola amigos! I'm super excited to be sharing one of my favorite Mexican dishes, pozole. This is ultimate comfort food and it's so perfect for cold weather, special occasions, and for the holiday season. I'm so happy to share my veganized pozole version and I do hope that you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Okay, let's get cooking! Pozole, like so many other dishes, is something that every family adds their special touch to. And of course, the ingredients will vary from one family to another, but this is how I make my pozole, and so do feel free to adjust it to your own personal taste. You can find all of these ingredients in the Mexican food aisle of most grocery stores, and if not, there's always Amazon. So do check the description for some really helpful links. We're going to need 900 grams or 31 ounces of hominy, which is also known as maíz pozolero. For the dried chilies, we need 3 guajillos, 2 anchos, 2 pasillas, and 3 chiles de arbol. These last ones are completely optional and I like to add them because they give heat to the soup. Then we're also going to need 2 liters or about 8.5 cups of strong, flavorful vegetable broth. We really need it to have lots of flavor because this is going to help the pozole be super delicious. Okay, we also need a small container of cremini mushrooms, or even oyster mushrooms will do too. But whichever one you use, just slice them up. Then we need a medium white onion and 2 very large cloves of garlic. Salt to taste, 1 teaspoon of dried Mexican oregano, and 2 bay leaves. The first step is to fill a small pot with water and bring it to a boil. While we wait for that, we can deseed and devein the chilies. So I actually couldn't find my kitchen scissors, so I started ripping the chilies with my hands. But anyways, all you need to do is remove the hard stems, open up the chilies, and cut away the membranes that hold the seeds and the veins. Which actually, coincidentally, this is where all of the heat in a chili is found. But don't worry, the only one of these peppers that has any heat in it is the long skinny ones, or the chiles de arbol. But remember, you can omit those if you don't want any heat. Once the water has boiled, we can place the deseeded chilies, the onion, and garlic into the pot. We allow it to simmer under low heat until the chilies have rehydrated and the onion and the garlic have softened. Okay, once softened, we can remove the ingredients from the heat and we can get our blender ready. Carefully, we place the boiled chilies, the garlic, and the onion into the blender. Then we add about half a cup of the boiling broth, or you could just use plain water instead too. We blend the chilies until we have a smooth, thickish sauce, and if needed, we can add a bit more of the boiling broth or some water to help achieve that smooth consistency. In a large soup pot and over medium heat, drizzle in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then we can add the sliced mushrooms and saute them for about 8 minutes. Really, all we need to do is just soften them up, and you see how they'll start releasing some of the liquid. This is what we want. Next, carefully we pour in the chili sauce from the blender and give it a good stir. I should point out that when I filmed this, I completely forgot to strain the chili sauce through a fine sieve. So please make sure that you don't forget. Well, I mean, it isn't going to ruin your pozole. It just means that if you run it through the fine sieve, you won't have any little bits of seeds or unblended chili bits. Now we can add 1 teaspoon of coarse sea salt and stir the pot. Okay, now we can add the oregano, also 1 teaspoon, and again, stir. Next, we add the hominy and mix until everything is well combined. Lastly, we pour in vegetable broth and add the bay leaves. Give it a good stir, turn the heat to medium-low, cover the pot, and simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour, or until the hominy is very tender. After about 30 minutes, you need to taste the pozole to see if maybe it can use a little bit more salt or a little bit more oregano. But don't overdo it on the oregano, because if there's too much, it can turn the pozole sour. And of course, we don't want that. While we wait for the pozole to cook, we can prepare the toppings. One topping I love are these small fried and salted chilies. They add a really nice touch to the pozole. They are chiles japoneses and they are very mild. To prepare, we simply heat a little bit of oil, then fry the chilies just for a couple of minutes. It's very important to keep stirring and to not let them burn, because if they burn, they get really bitter and they just don't taste good. So as soon as they start darkening up just a little bit, you remove them from the heat. Then you drain off any excess oil on a paper towel lined plate, and then we dust them with a little bit of fine sea salt. And that's it! Other toppings to include are shredded iceberg lettuce, radishes, limes, tostadas, dried oregano, avocado slices, sour cream, and any salsa you may like. Once the pozole is ready, we need to allow it to cool slightly before we can serve it. Top with any or all of the mentioned topping choices, or you can let everyone choose how they'd like to eat their pozole. So as you can see, pozole is actually quite easy to prepare, and the delicious smell that's going to fill up your kitchen is going to make you so hungry. This veganized pozole makes a great substitute for the traditional meat versions. Of course, because there's no meat in this, it's not going to taste exactly like chicken or pork pozole. But in the 2 years that I've been making it this way, I'm always fully satisfied every time the pozole craving strikes. Pozole has always been a special occasion meal in Mexico. People will serve it for birthdays or parties, and it's very popular during the holiday season, so it's quite common to see pozole on offer at the Christmas table. Whether you make it for Christmas or just to enjoy on a chilly day, I hope you warm your belly with a big pot of pozole. And like we say in Mexico, barriga llena, corazón contento. Or, loosely, a full belly and a happy heart. Thanks for stopping by. Happy cooking, and adios amigos.